Is it even possible for an INFP to be happy, to be carefree, to be positive, to not be overly worried and sad and melancholy? It is. I've done it. What's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. I want to tell you about my journey a little bit to becoming more happy, more positive, more in control of my emotions, and how you can do some of it too. And then at the end, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to ask you to go to my website, inowfeelpositive.com, and actually become positive. Make it a statement, a mission. But let's talk about, why would you want to do that? Isn't that a funny question? Why would you want to be positive? Introverted feeling is, for INFPs, the dominant function. That's what it's technically called. I think of it as the hero, the star of your movie, the main character within your questing party. And I think of it as the reflective conscience, the heart character. Emotions are where we live. Emotions are the place that we are the strongest. This is our main superpower, is this deep diving understanding of who we are and balancing ourselves through really understanding and evaluating our feelings, our emotions, our beliefs, our values, and listening to the conscience, that voice that you know so well that's saying, this is not something that I should do. This is not a good thing to do. This is not something that you should do. This is a universal pain. Evaluating what is going on within us is our flow state. That's how we charge. That's how we engage the best with the world. That's how we make our best decisions. So why would you want to separate from that? Because it's not always the best tool for the job. It's not always the best weapon for the job. You're interested in staying true to yourself, in deep emotional reflection, in fighting for what's right. And not everything is as epic as that all the time. Even just buying a coffee sometimes can be this heart-wrenching decision, right? Like, do I really want this brand of coffee? Is this the right one for me? Is this going to reflect my identity the best? Or what should you eat for dinner? I don't know. It's such a difficult decision because you're constantly weighing it. You're evaluating, and everything you do is doing that, and it's going to take a toll on you. But it feels good too, right? So it's this akujunkan. It's this endless cycle, this vicious circle. But for INFPs, we also have this other main voice, this other real strength that we have within extroverted intuition. It's creation, it's shaking up the system, it's innovation, it's curiosity. I call it the curious innovator. It's the part of us that wants to experiment, wants to explore new ideas, new locations, new people, embodying new people, really digging into their characters, right? Combining that voice of exploring and wondering what if with the heart, deep emotions, and identity, you get people who love to delve into the mysteries of who people are, love to create characters just to see how they'll play out. Like, what would this character do in a situation, in this situation, with this other person here? Like, how would all those things emerge? And people are motivated more by pain than they are by pleasure. So constantly exploring those darker sides, those more sad, depressed, melancholy sides, is something that we get often trapped in doing. And the outer world is just so scary too. So I want to talk now about some of the things that have really helped me along my journey here. And I'm not perfect. I'm not always at 100%. God, no. But I try, and I'm aware of it, And it's something that I've committed myself to doing, to being the best version of myself, and to try to empower other people and inspire other people to do that through story, through understanding character, through understanding yourself at a deeper level. Personality type being one of the main models of doing that. You are never going to be happy until you decide to be happy. Let that sink in. You are never going to be happy until you decide to be happy. Once you make a decision as an INFP, introverted feeling constantly listens and it weighs the different values, the different options. It's listening, right? It's looking for the deepest resonating decision. And when it decides that, it locks into that. And it might be very difficult to change that. But use that as a strength. Decide to be happy. Decide to be positive. Make it part of your identity. I am no longer someone who is not motivated, is not energetic, is not excited to live another day of possibilities. Really do that. Like, make that decision. Decisions happen instantly. Up until there might be a lot of back and forth, but once you really decide it, once you have full conviction around it, you will do it. That is one of the most important things that you can do. I remember back when I was in, I think it was early high school. It was early 2000s. And I was listening to, I don't know who it was. He taught me that whatever happens, there's no meaning attached to it. This is something I learned from an MP3 back in the day. There's no meaning attached to it. You attach a meaning to it. Somebody cannot make you feel sad. They did something, you felt sad. They did not make that happen. You did it. It is within you. It is within the container of who you are. Knowing that, people cannot make you angry. People cannot make you feel depressed. People cannot make you do or feel anything that you don't want to at some level. And when you really understand that, when you really separate that and understand that your feelings, your emotions are your responsibility, then you get more control over your life. You get more ability to do the things that you know you should do. And yes, there are always going to be times when you feel you're overwhelmed by it and you're just not in your best state. And there are techniques to deal with that, to help you through that. But just that realization, I'm in control of my emotions. I'm going to bring out and replicate a different emotion, a different emotional state that I want to be in. That is going to serve me better in this situation and will hopefully serve the other person as you being a role model for that state. And just because this person is freaking out doesn't need to mean that you are freaking out. So yes, you can be happy. You don't need to live up to the stereotype of being an emo. I was extremely emotional back when I was younger. It was awful. It was an awful roller coaster until I learned how to control them better, how to tap into the emotions that are going to serve me better, turning up the emotions that are important for you. Like, think of it like this. If you close your eyes and imagine next to you is a stereo with 4 different knobs on it. Those knobs are linked to different emotional states that you want to use. You can have one for confidence. You can have one for happiness. You can have one for grit. You can have one for love. when you turn the knobs, those are now connected to you. Imagine a cable running from the back of the stereo into you, and slowly turn up that knob for confidence and feel it charging you, feel it boosting you. Notice your posture puffing up a little bit, feeling more aligned, taking up a bit more space around you. Now imagine turning up happiness or positivity. As you do that and you get the big grin on your face, you start feeling better, you start feeling warmer, and you're puffed out, and you're confident. Imagine what you can do with that. You can open your eyes now. Imagine what you can do if you just intentionally take control of the emotions. Even if it's with a little exercise like that, and you just close your eyes briefly, turn up the knobs that need to be turned up, and start feeling good. Intentionally, because you made a decision to do that. So I'm going to invite you now to go to my other website, www.inowfeelpositive.com. INFP, inowfeelpositive.com. Go there and sign up for the free mailing letter, and consider enrolling in the actual 30-day challenge. It's gotten great feedback so far. I've tweaked it a little bit. I'm still working on it, but it is packed with the techniques, the skills, the mindsets that you need to bring your life to a new positive level, to do the stuff that only an INFP can, but we don't really have training around. Okay, so I'm taking the best techniques that I've learned through thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars spent on educational programs, as well as going out and actual experience every weekend, going out to clubs and understanding people and pushing myself, putting myself into situations that I needed to learn something about myself, moving to Japan on a whim and experiencing what emerges out of putting yourself into new contexts and saying yes to some things that you wouldn't normally say yes to. So please go to the website, check it out, use it to help you, and I really do hope that it does help. If you do it, if you follow through with the program, it is going to help you. And it's going to be one of the things that changes the rest of your life, as those techniques have changed my life too. So besides that, please let me know down below in the comments what has helped you along your journey. What has made you happy before? What are the little techniques, the patterns, the things that you do to make you more positive when you're not feeling positive? Sharing quotes or art or anything like that, creating something, taking time to journal. Please let us know down below in the comments, because if it helped you, it's going to help somebody else. And also like, share, subscribe if you already haven't. And don't keep it a secret. Pass it on to the people that need it. All right, good luck, have fun. Peace.